Hi, everybody. It is October 21, 2024. Another day, and here we are. We are still alive. We haven't been unalived yet. But even if everything was ideal and wonderful, we would eventually be unalived. The new lingo, still trying to get used to it. So, hello, Crazy Pots and Alicia DeMoss and Sandra and Tony Punch. Hi, Andrew Cruz, Geofactor 3. Hi, D Moore, Analog Synth Player, Louisiana Skywatch. Hi, Test All Spirits. I'd say the test has, it's kind of like a marathon. It just never stops. You will know. You will know. Okay. Hi, Bluesman Sonny Fournier. It's nice seeing you so consistently. Angelos and Patricia White. Girl Interrupted. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi. Oracle 11, Kim Blanchard. Good evening to you. Hypocrites Matrix. Some things you just can't give up. Like that. Hypocrites Matrix. Sith Trish and Joni and Mark Anthony. Hey, Mark. I'm feeling like you just don't have any affection for me anymore because how come you're not calling me a brat? And to those who think, you always have to preface something, right? He doesn't do that in a mean fashion, okay? All right, good. Ain't buying it. Silent Walk. Hey, brat. Thanks. Now I feel at home. Miss Blanche, hello. So yeah, an awful lot is going on. Oof, an awful lot is going on. Tony, hello, Tony. I do hope that you're all ready, but yeah, I can't imagine a whole lot surviving what is coming. Really, an evil has been set loose that knows no bounds. So, what does that mean? That means that what we're living right now was absolutely unimaginable, I think, probably to everyone. Now we face it, we know it. So, what else is coming that is unimaginable? The weather warfare continues on, and let's whoop. I didn't share screen. Let's share screen audio. Okay, and all of it. Radar. What do we have going on here? Seems like it's another Lando cane swirling about. Kansas, Nebraska. Look at the frequencies hitting the periphery of this weather front. We're going to call it a weather front, or hitting this weather weapon. And it is defining a defined line. Once these frequencies hit, here come the defined line. Iowa might be wanting to keep it out of Iowa. But this looks like, it's a weather front with a tail, and the tail is kind of straggly. You got the supercells, Kansas, Nebraska. Okay. These supercells look a little bit more powerful than the supercells in New Mexico that, after the live last night, well, I came across more videos this morning, and wow, New Mexico, a whole lot of destruction that I didn't see. But boy, the videos coming out today is, well, do I say remarkable? Now, look at these frequencies along the coast, and wow, you've got a whole lot. Look at this right-angled frequency. All of these, what I absolutely do believe, is nanotechnology, nanobots activated in a line. And, well, I would say that, they're going in a direction that we're not used to, right? Along the coast, going down south, maybe going down south. It doesn't seem to be going any further than right off the coast of Georgia. Look at all of these nanobots coming into Florida. What, pray tell, will they do with those extremely low frequencies? Texas. But what are we looking at right here? The curvature seems to be harp-like. The circular, the extremely perfect defined circular pattern. So you have the frequencies on either side of this weather front. And Southern California, your extremely low frequencies continue on almost nonstop for years. So let's just see if there is severe weather alerts for Nebraska, Kansas. Oh, look, severe weather alerts for Kansas and Nebraska. Smith, Franklin, Webster, Kansas, Nebraska. Red Willow, Nebraska. Oh, you have a special marine warning. Showers located along a line extending from 8 nautical miles east of Grant, Valkyria, and 6 nautical miles northeast of St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant. Showers doesn't seem so bad. All right. The reason why I post the links to the alert page, to the radar page, so that you can bookmark them. If you see these supercells activate, you can go to the alert page and find out more details. Like this, a severe thunderstorm was located near Franklin, or 29 miles northeast of Phillipsburg. And also, a severe thunderstorm was located 8 miles northeast of McCook, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Okay, I cannot stress enough that you be very careful and you really pay attention to our weather, because people are being destroyed. Now, throughout 2024, and it is, nearing the end of October, I can't tell you how many severe weather events that I have included in the live stream that have destroyed homes, destroyed businesses, killed people, destroyed a whole lot of cars all over the country. all over the world, but all over our country. And I always do the weather. That's the first part of a live stream. So if you're new and you don't know how much destruction our weather terrorists have wrought, then check out the live streams. In the very beginning, I do weather. It sure is very, very, very upsetting to see all of this destruction. But hey, Roswell, New Mexico, far worse than I showed last night.
Roswell, New Mexico, October 20th, 2024. Roswell, New Mexico, was hit hard by a devastating flash flood on October 20th, 2024. Torrential rainfall overwhelmed the city, leading to widespread flooding, road closures, and significant property damage.
Let's just put this back a little, okay? Is that coming from one of those sewer drains, the drainage system? I think it is. Overpowered. All of this rain came down so fast, overpowered the drainage system, and here it's a huge fountain flooding out an awful lot around it.
Oh my days. Homes, businesses, and infrastructure were inundated, forcing evacuations and leaving many without power. Emergency services worked tirelessly to rescue stranded individuals and assess the damage. Local, state, and federal agencies are coordinating efforts to provide aid and support to affected communities.
Valió madre el pedo.
The flooding has caused significant displacement, property loss, and emotional distress for residents. Local businesses have also suffered closures and damage.
Here we go. More people without homes, cars, every day. Every day. In fact, I want to, let me see. I don't think any of these, no, I had to put it on another browser. Where is it? Here. Why is it flooding everywhere? For years, I have been saying it begs questions that we have so much flooding all over the world. Saudi Arabia, Oman, desert countries, massive flooding all over Europe, China, and Asian countries and North America. Why is it flooding everywhere? You think this is climate change? Really? People, please look into weather modification.
What in the end of the world is happening right now? Why is everywhere flooding? And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. So we have Roswell, New Mexico, completely flooded, quite literally for no reason. It appears the worst flood since what, 1901? But again, it's everywhere. The same exact time it's flooding in Canada. That's odd how all these places, what, Paris is flooding as well? All these places randomly flood at the same time out of nowhere. The worst stuff in 100 years. I believe this right here was in Canada. Wow. So, like, is there anyone who can explain this? And don't forget about Italy happening almost at the same exact time, and multiple other countries. And at the same exact time, all of Cuba has went dark. This photo was taken Friday night in Cuba, again, completely 100% dark. So, like, can anyone explain where all these floods and all these crazy events are coming from? And completely unrelated, check out these cool clouds. You don't see that every day, huh?
He's being sarcastic and that it's not, that it's unrelated. Cool clouds, yeah. Okay. We definitely have a problem with, it's not just Americans, but others, knowing about weather being used as a weapon in all countries, and you can't get through to people. You can't even get through to people when they have a sky like this. The clouds here, I've been taking, pictures or video of them. They're so bizarre, and they should really, alert everybody to something very strange going on in our skies. But for some reason, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I'm going to post a link to this because I have, in the past, suggested that you subscribe to these weather channels just to keep abreast of all of the weather terrorists and what they are doing. And unfortunately, they are friggin' successful. Lake Bonny, residents angry at flood response. All right, good. Americans are getting that something is amiss with our governments, right? Yeah. But you go to government, you go to the same source that created the problem, expecting them to fix it.
And over in Lakeland, people who live near Lake Bonny say they are fed up with the rising waters flooding their streets and homes. At a neighborhood meeting today, homeowners complained it's been more than a week since Hurricane Milton and they are still dealing with standing water. The city of Lakeland says it's been pumping water out of the lake at full capacity since August, but neighbors say the city should have done more.
My house is everything. That is my sanctuary. That's my life. I'm the man. I provide that house for my daughter and my wife. And you know what? The city's lack of tactfulness, their lack of maintenance, and their lack of care is exactly why we're here. This could have been avoided, ma'am.
Within the last 2 hours, Lakeland City Commissioner Mike Music met with neighbors to hear their concerns at a community meeting held at the Lake Bonny boat ramp. Residents tell us they plan to attend the city and county commission meetings to see what can be done to help those who lost everything and to prevent flooding in the future.
Now, I understand because government is in control of all of this, right? It's quite the snag that we're in. We've been snagged. How do you get out of the snag? I have an image of me in a net trying to, get out. Well, you need an awful lot of people, to know that you're in that net. They come by and they cut you out, and And then, you march on to get rid of the people who are destroying people's lives, right? And hope for the best that you can get other people in to fix the problems. This is about to seriously change our weather. YouTube meteorologists. The titles say it all. Oh, another change to our weather. Gets really tiring when these people don't even utter the words, the terms, weather modification, geoengineering. Never do they mention the frequencies that are quite clear on radar. And I'm just going to post the link if you want to watch this. Yeah, I'm disgusted with them. So, shout out to Into Thin Air. The link is in the chat. If you have not subscribed, I highly recommend that you do so. Good on him. I don't have the energy anymore. But he compares the Hurricane Helene and that weather front that hit Roswell, New Mexico. And they're quite similar, but I'm going to start it at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. And you can listen to what he is saying about, another weather assault. That's what we have. That's all we have now. People getting destroyed.
We jump back to the New Mexico situation. You can see we are dealing with the same exact situation. A low pressure system stalled out, not moving an inch right or left. Super, super rare for these to just stay in one spot. And then there came the moisture right there. So you see this red, that is eventually after a day of this spinning here, it's pulling up that moisture from the Pacific over Mexico and then boom, explodes into Roswell, New Mexico. And that, my friends, is why I'm showing you how a lot of this can originate from places like Area 51, where there's no eyes seeing anything that's going on in the skies there. We had something being dropped in the sky and then it was activated by those radar and then eventually became a massive storm that was flowing across Arizona and right into New Mexico. All right, and just take a look at them right next to each other. Two different major weather situations causing devastating flooding, both of which were caused by a stalled out low pressure system that's already a rare situation on its own. And then it is then activated to then cause this flooding because these systems did not move. They just stayed over the same place, dumping feet of rain, and in turn, my friends, becomes another devastating flood. All right, so now I have this full clip that we can break down and you might be able to understand a little bit more. So this is what's happening here. We have a radar anomaly popping up, and as you can see, this is taking place directly over Area 51. So that's where this is originating from. These dots are being dropped over Area 51 and then shot with these lasers. And just to get everyone oriented, you can see right here, it is directly over Area 51. This is not made up. This is actually being dropped over that private property. And now we're going to go into detail and watch how they enhance it in real time. We're going to be watching this little speckle anomaly, and you're going to see it get zapped 2 different times. I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and you're going to see 2 zaps hit it. And just as that happens, another part of this begins to peel off. Watch this. 1, 2. And as soon as that happens, this part peels right off. Let's backtrack, and you're going to see the 2 beams. Here is 1 right there. There is the second right there. And then watch as this little system here gets bigger with a piece of it trailing off right after the beams hit it. This is unbelievable stuff. And you could see that it's also being shot from different radar towers as it scoots across the states here. Now, keep in mind how big this is. This is an entire state right here. This is Nevada. Let's backtrack and see how big this thing gets over time. It begins as just these little dots. It gets hit with that double zap. And then here we go. Watch how this thing changes. Watch how fast it's moving. And you can see it being hit all the way back and forth. So let's do it again. All the way back to the beginning. We'll start with the first beam right here and the creation of these little speckles weeks. There was absolutely no moisture or any weather in this area whatsoever. Keep in mind, this is Nevada and Southern California. And we move forward again, zap number 1, there is zap number 2. We begin the peel off phase, and then it just begins to get bigger and bigger, and you can see other towers hitting it from different places as it passes by. Just a very weird anomaly that I caught, and it seemingly shows a system being created from nothing. Watch, if we backtrack another frame, this thing disappears. There's nothing there. The very next frame, we get the dots and the first beam, and then we see it get hit and hit over and over again, even from down in this area, and then boom, we have a full-fledged weather system created from little specks over Area 51. My friends, I've proven over and over that weather manipulation.
Do you know if anyone else has been talking about how nanotechnology is also in play with our weather? The dots, the activation of nanobots, as far as I'm concerned. And if you don't know nanotechnology, Never Lose Truth, the other channel that I have, Never Lose Truth, no number, Never Lose Truth, playlists, weather modification, several are about nanotechnology. The nanobots that they have dumped into our atmosphere yeah. Well, I'm going to post a link to this. I once got a copyright strike from 60 Minutes, but I wouldn't want to play it anyway because North Carolina continues to search for Helene victims after monster storm. Yesterday, this was posted. And of course, the conspiracy theorists who talk about geoengineering, and this man from Yancey County, he knows. And he said that this was not an engineered storm. This had nothing to do with geoengineering. And then, of course, they bring up what has been debunked, the militia threatening FEMA. And all of those people who needed FEMA's help, well, the militia drove us out. We can't help you. It's really disgusting. Keep sharing what's happening in North Carolina. Keep sharing what's happening all over.
Quick little video. I want everyone who is sharing about what has been going on, don't stop, don't let up, pedal down, because it is making waves. They are having a fit that they're getting exposed. Please don't stop. This is our job. If you are not in Western North Carolina working and helping these people, your job is to spread these personal stories that people are putting online and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, guys. Don't stop, because we are not going to let them do to us what they did to Maui and these other places. Keep up the good work.
Circulate, yeah. If you can't do anything else, you can certainly circulate the information. Florida homes selling for 70% off. It's a sale. 70% off after Hurricane Helene and Milton.
Florida housing prices are destroyed. This is one of the hottest real estate markets in the world. But after two massive hurricanes, we are seeing the hottest properties becoming some of the cheapest properties. A newly listed Florida home, which is this, you could literally go to realtor.com and check this out. They're trying to sell it for $260,000. Now, originally, the medium home value for this area is about almost $500,000. So you're looking at about a 60 to 70% loss for this property if you look at the other surrounding houses. So 60 to 70% off. Why are the houses so cheap? Well, first of all, it literally looks like that. you're going to have to just buy the lot and renovate it. In fact, you're probably going to have to bulldoze this home and then build something else. We are seeing some of the biggest price cuts in the Florida market, and it's actually kind of scary. Let's look at the hurricane real estate damage in Florida. The lowest estimate with two of these hurricanes combined together is like $71 billion. The highest estimate is well above $120 billion. This is one of the scariest numbers I have ever seen. And this is like just some random number I pulled out from my closet. This is by Moody's, which their whole job is to do these prices. And then when you look at this, some of the home sales.
But you can't believe Moody's, okay? And you can't believe any of these numbers. Unfortunately, we're living a time that is quite exhausting because you have to do an awful lot of work yourself to find out what the truth is, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters to me is that there has been a tremendous amount of destruction, that an awful lot will be paying for, and the destruction to the individuals is plain to see. And that's what I care about. Yeah. Owning a home is the number one asset of the majority of ordinary people. Well, that has really shown itself to be not so true for an awful lot of people throughout the years, but wow. Boots on the ground intel, surging foreclosure activity in the Dallas-Fort Worth area from a house inspector. And it's only going to get worse.
This is my territory. That's where I help out in Dallas. Reason I'm showing this to you, see all the green? That's what we did yesterday. See all the grayish? After I uploaded, I ran a download, and all the gray is what came back. I'm almost 300 due by the end of this week. And you can see it's just getting worse. Every day I do a good amount and more comes back the next day. I'm going to get to a point where I'm not going to be able to go to Dallas anymore because my market is exploding in foreclosures. These are people who are late. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're low, mid, or high income. There's mansions that I'm going to take pictures of. And I've even been pulled over by cops who are saying, "What are you doing taking pictures of these homes?" And I show them, look, the house is under foreclosure. I'm here on the part of the bank, taking photos, making sure people are still living in the home. And the cop couldn't even believe that was going on. And he said, "Okay, I recognize your car. I see you in these neighborhoods all the time. Now I know what you're doing. I'll let you do your thing," which was a thumbs up for me, right? But it's getting way worse. My wife can't believe it. She's like, "You're going to get to a point where you can't keep up. And what are you going to do?" And I said, "I'm going to put you in a car and make you go do it too."
People aren't making it. What happens to them? Neighbors angry over dozens of illegal RVs and campers parked in Brooklyn community. Oh, sounding like California, sounding like Oregon, Seattle.
People in a Brooklyn community are angry over dozens of illegal RVs and campers that are parked there. A viewer reached out to tell us the people who do this don't face any consequences. This is unfolding in Red Hook at the intersection of Clinton and Bay Streets, right near Red Hook Park. Hannah Klieger covers Brooklyn, and she has the story.
If I ran a generator 24/7, I would be ticketed. If I parked my car on the street and had no inspection stickers, if I had a trailer with no inspection sticker or registration, I would be towed, I would be ticketed.
For more than a year, Red Hook residents say parts of their streets are permanently occupied by campers and recreational vehicles, creating concerns around safety and sanitation.
Probably one of the...
Frank Falcinelli walks us through the neighborhood, showing the campers steps away from Red Hook Park, where kids play soccer almost daily. I spoke off camera with one of the men who live in these campers. He tells me it's one of the few places he can park without getting a ticket, and that he moves his vehicle every 2 days. Members of this community say that's just not true.
This guy's been here all summer. He's got his extended cab bumped out into traffic, has the audacity to put down a cone.
Current New York City law does not allow RVs to park in the same spot for more than 24 hours. Queens Councilmember Robert Holden has been pushing a bill to tighten those restrictions after noticing the issue in his district.
That's why we're writing a new law that will treat the RVs essentially like a commercial vehicle, that they can't park on any street for more than 3 hours and they can't park overnight.
NYPD says the 76th precinct is aware of the problem. It has issued 388 parking violations and 80 summonses for missing plates in the neighborhood year to date. Last month, officers conducted a joint operation to remove some of the mobile homes and connect people to the resources they may need.
You don't see this in Manhattan. You really don't see it anywhere in New York.
The department.
Manhattan would be very hard for this unless you go way up, upper Manhattan. But this is only going to get worse. People are now, the numbers are increasing, skyrocketing. The homeless and people who need to have some place to live, right? But couldn't there be like an easy solution to this? Cities have properties. Couldn't they just carve out a space for people with their RVs? And no. I mean, it would not cost much. The city could even, hey, how about, have a rent for the RV staying on that property, even just $100 a month. Have porta potties, have garbage cans, keep the place clean. But we don't do that. Isn't it bizarre? We don't do it. And yes, it is deliberate to make people all feel like they are living either in a third world country or a ghetto, to destroy the cities, especially. But people just don't understand how deliberate this is. 4 in 10 independent restaurants could not pay their rent in September. Okay, so we have an awful lot of people going down. They're going down. That shit hits the fan. It's been happening for years. A whole lot are facing shit hits the fan for themselves. So, but yes, I know the collective shit hits the fan. That's what a whole lot of the comfortable are still waiting for. But it could happen to you before it happens to the collective. Then what you going to do? Because not a lot of people are getting help. Small business owners in our country are really facing just the destruction that has been going on for years. All right, so I'm going to just play a few minutes, 7 lessons from Helene, plus bonus, Bear Independent. The link is in the chat, and I do recommend that you subscribe. Bear Independent. He lives in Oklahoma, but since Katrina, he has an organization, Grindstone. Oh man, Is it in here? Let's see. Grindstone, I can't remember. There's another word, Grindstone Initiatives, Grindstone Organization, but he goes and does the rescue and recovery ever since Katrina, hurricanes, tornadoes. And you want to listen to people like that who have the experience, and they will tell you, you know, what you need to survive, but you need community in order to do it.
I apologize about that. But that also leads back to Camo. It's information, not intelligence, if you don't have a way to independently verify it. And yeah, in times of chaos, times of trouble, just because you heard a thing doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. And so we at Grindstone and Bear Independent, we try and run all those things down and determine that they are true. And sometimes things that you thought were true end up not being true. So I apologize. But it also clearly, like you got to be able to communicate so that you can organize logistics, relief, medical. It's huge. You have to have commo. 2, water. You need way more water than you think that you do. A gallon of water per person per day isn't enough. You're going to consume way more water than that when you're engaged in strenuous activity. You need water to keep yourself and your tools clean so that you're not transmitting disease. And you need water to prepare food. And if you have livestock, you need water for your livestock as well. And you need multiple sources from water, because if like your main water source is the river and the river becomes contaminated, now what do you do? And so rainwater catchment, rain barrels, multiple wells, springs, et cetera, you need water, and you need way more of it than you think that you do. The bottom number that I use for people in times of chaos is 3 gallons per person per day. 1 for you to drink, 1 for you to cook with, 1 for you to clean yourself and your tools with. And that's a minimum. 5 to 10 is better if you got it. And water's heavy, and water infrastructure can be expensive. It's hard to transport, but you need water storage. You need multiple modalities of filtration and treatment, because what could have been a life-giving water source yesterday could become contaminated today with chemicals and septic tanks and cadavers and who knows what else. So water, and lots of redundancy on water, and more than you think that you're going to need. You need a way to thermoregulate. Right now, most of the immediate needs with Hurricane Helene have been met. Food, water, medical. The long-term needs are now beginning to arise and have been for about a week. People need a way to stay warm. They need power generation. Part of why power generation is important is for refrigeration from a food standpoint, because if you're eating bad food or ultra-processed cardboard box styrofoam food, you're going to get sick. Or at a minimum, you're going to be operating at a lower level than you're used to, a lower level than arguably you need to in times of uncertainty. So refrigeration is a modern marvel. And if you have a way to power your refrigerator and your freezer, that helps logistically when it comes to food. So, but let's go back to heat. You need a way to thermoregulate. Blankets and stoves and 4-sided structures with roofs, ideally. And in the winter, fall and into winter, you need to stay warm. And in the summer, you need to stay cool. 98.6, The Fine Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive, I think, is the name of the book by Cody Lundin. Very good book, written easily digestible, we'll put it that way. So heating, and it's not, I have a sleeping bag and a wool blanket. I would have at least twice as much sleep kit for everybody in your family or your mag or your crew as you think you're going to need, because some nights it's going to be colder than others, and some people may have not brought all the things that they thought they were going to need, or stuff gets dirty or damp and needs to be laundered back to water or whatever. So like, have more than you think you're going to need to stay warm, because people will die if you can't thermoregulate. Which brings me to backup generation and refrigeration, right? Number 4, backup generation. Generator, man. Something. Solar panels. Some kind of battery backup. Whatever it is. Fans in the summer. Like, your body's a swamp cooler. A wet body loses heat 26 times faster than a dry body. So your body is designed by the creator to be a swamp cooler. Very cool. But fans help with that, right? So in the summer, fans. In the winter, fans to circulate warm air inside of your dwelling. Very good. And then also commo, right? That commo stuff runs on batteries or AC/DC power sources. And the commo is very important. And refrigeration to the extent that you can, and maybe some lighting. And maybe you throw in rechargeable batteries here. What I've found is rechargeable batteries tend to just get consumed and thrown away in times of emergency. They're very rarely retained and recharged and then used again. So I like flashlights and weapons lights that'll run on one 18650 or 2 CR123s, because I've got more CR123s than I know what to do with. But backup generation and a real system and enough fuel to run it for a long time. We'll come back around to fuel in a moment. 5, you need a network. Who are you going to call when things go sideways? Who are your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, your people from church, whatever it might be? Many hands make light work. And when there's a lot of work to do, and it's not just the relief effort, the short-term sustainment of life, but the recovery effort, the rebuilding of a life. Because there's 2 distinct periods post-disaster. The first is relief, which is the preservation of life. Food, water, medical, shelter-ish, transpo and logistics. And then there's the recovery, which is the rebuilding process. Roads, bridges, homes, businesses, schools, life. So short-term and long-term. Who's going to be there for you short-term and long-term? I mean, even Grindstone, we're a disaster relief organization. We are short-term. About 4 to 6 weeks is the longest we spend anywhere. And typically it's 2 to 3 weeks. Right? We solve the immediate problem, preservation of life, and then empower locals so that they can work on the long-term recovery. Who's going to be there with you? Who's passing you information? It's flooding the next town over and they're upstream from us. We should probably bug out, right? You need a network of people, and a lot of people. I'm going to lone wolf my way through SHTF, not based upon what I've observed. That's not going to happen. People pull together and band together in times of chaos. There's comfort in numbers, and there's capability and capacity in numbers that a singleton just can't bring to the table. 6, bug out indicators. Kind of goes back to network.
6 starts at 10 minutes in. The link is in the chat. You need people. Unfortunately, a lot of the subscribers that I have known and still know don't have a whole lot of what he's talking about, don't have the resources to get it. So an awful lot of people are looking at and facing their reality that they won't survive. So very, very important. That's why for years I've been talking, you got to get a community together. You've got to get a community together. And the communities that have gotten together, and then I hear, oh, explosion, and then everybody is just splintered apart, and don't talk to one another because of ego. stupid issues from their past they haven't resolved. And, oh well, we put a couple of years into this, but now it's shot to hell over something so stupid. You would think adults would be able to resolve something like that, or you would think it wouldn't even happen to begin with. Nope. So what happens to all those people? They're alone. It is so, yeah. The first order of business is getting yourself right, and then expanding and trying to find other people who have gotten their self right so that you can work together without the immature bullshit that goes on. Well, doesn't seem to be the American way, but the link is in again, and I do recommend that you, all of you who do, have resources and that you subscribe to Bear Independent, because I may not have the resources. I may not be one of those who survives, but I know good information when I hear it. And then we have this stuff still going on. A journalist in Texas arrested by police for filming an all-age drag show that was being held at the city's public event center. Any adult who's of right mind could see that this stuff is not meant for children. But it continues, and it's been going on for years. So the children are literally being abused, and all of the adults are just happy with it. Happy, happy. Oh, this brings so much joy. It's a reflection of American society and how sick American society is.
Okay, but he's not the owner of this building.
No, the city of Mission.
Yes, the city of Mission owns this building where you're having this drag show with children right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, please calm down.
No, whoa, don't touch my phone. Don't touch my phone. What are you doing? Oh, no.
This is a free country, correct?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I just got arrested for just being here.
Well.
Yep. No, it's not a free country.
Wow.
You guys proved it. You guys absolutely proved it. No, I'm right.
So
I know I'm right.
And then you have this. Democrats cheer as Lizzo says the whole country be like Detroit if Kamala wins. All right. I think a lot of people posting on this are not really taking in the context of Lizzo is not someone that I'm actually talking about. Lizzo is pretty amazing, but someone else, maybe in the Trump campaign, said that if Kamala wins, the country will be like Detroit. Okay, we all know what has happened to Detroit, which used to be a beautiful city. Lizzo, who's from Detroit, is protecting Detroit. Okay. But we all know that Detroit has already been spreading to an awful lot of places around the country. But really, she flies a private jet to Detroit. Isn't she one of those climate change? Oh my God. And yeah, there's no one with any kind of dignity today. There's no one with any kind of dignity today. It's so flipping upsetting because we are social creatures. And, well, I know from a fact that I looked to people, and that has a lot to do with my upbringing, that there was no learning or anything. It was bad. But as a young adult, I would look to people that I respected and emulate their behavior. You want to emulate this? You want to give this to the kids to emulate, to the young to emulate? We're more sick than anything else now. That's, yeah. It's pretty bad out there.
This is how a bad bitch saves democracy. You hoes couldn't even spell democracy. Ah!
What was that? No, it doesn't play. It won't play. But these are the people now that campaign for a presidential candidate. Okay? Trump works at McDonald's. This is what Kamala has. And people apparently love it. They love it. So the whole Detroit thing is she trying to clean up a derogatory statement by somebody else. But you can't, because Detroit is really, I mean, it's been destroyed. I used to have respect for her until she's so pro-Israel and could give a shit about all of the children. And wow, are there a lot of children who are being murdered? Doesn't care. Anyway, IRS, AI. Oh, it's already operating? Yes, it is.
And what we have learned is that the IRS, in fact, has been using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without any kind of a search warrant or even without any specific claim that they have committed a crime. So this was something that was discovered by an undercover journalist, and what they found is that the IRS has claimed that they have access to every single person's bank account. This person also indicated that they've been working with the Department of Justice and that they have absolutely no problem whatsoever going after the little guy to make sure that they are paying their taxes. This is such a blatant violation of the Fourth Amendment that Jim Jordan and I sent a letter to the IRS demanding that they provide additional information about what they are doing with AI and what they are doing to protect the civil rights of American citizens. And what we have learned.
It's everything is in place. So, you know, and I still see people thinking that their vote is gonna count. Really? All the spying infrastructure, the artificial intelligence already in operation. I believe the artificial intelligence is already operating in weather with the nanobots. Everything has changed. We ain't ever going to go back to what it used to be. That's gone. It's so gone. And yes, there will be a black swan event. Hey, Klaus is telling us.
And the last factor I want to mention is resilience, the capability to bounce back, because there will be certainly what we call the black swans, the unpleasant surprises which will come in our way.
In our way.
And the last factor I want to mention is resilience.
The black swan event. It will come in our way. Here he is, notifying the world there will be black swan events. We are going to be pulling them off. Are we up Schitt's Creek without a paddle? Yeah. So I just want to play a few of these. Yeah. Okay. What was going on in Washington, D.C. that this morning, I guess, had a test evacuation of all Capitol Hill buildings, training for a plane hitting the building just before election time? A test evacuation of all Capitol Hill buildings? You know how many buildings that is? A lot.
Morning. What's going on?
Just doing a test.
Oh. Shit, what the hell is going on with my damn Zoom? Good morning out there. Good morning. So, get out on the street. Yeah. So when I woke up this morning and got on X, I saw that the Capitol Police had posted they were having an evacuation drill this morning. That's why I'm here so early. There's a bunch of police down there. Damn it, I can't even freaking zoom in. I'm so mad. Which bunch of police coming from down there. Let's see over there. Damn it. Anything because it was very vague. There goes an ambulance down there. Things never move. So I was able to go around the area before they did the road closures. So now they have, they have this road here, right here, East Capitol. They have the pop-up barricades. They've put those up since I've gotten here. And they have straight down there a block, Constitution Avenue. They have that all blocked off. So they have all the pop-up barriers up down there. And are diverting traffic. And then they have them also down here on Independence. And since I'm on this side, I can't see how far down that way they have the road blocked off. But over here, it's about a block and a half up to the left, where they have the last pop-up barriers. So I don't know. Really weird, like an evacuation drill when nobody's here. I hear a lot of sirens.
Maybe they evacuated underground, but I will post the link and you can listen to the remaining minute and a half. But yeah, I mean, look, when you live in our country, everything is suspect. Everything that's going on is suspect. You can't help but question everything that's going on, especially these exercises, right? Thousands of people missing. Areas of Asheville look worse than Ukraine.
You can see right here the water was up to the window. Even in this house right here, next door to his neighbor, everything was destroyed. The ground is literally clay. This is a thick, really smelly mud. Look at the destruction. Horrible, horrible.
So you can see how easy it would have been for the mud to bury people. That's a lot of mud. By the way, I don't know if the video that I played of Roswell, New Mexico, if it was in that or another one I missed showing you, 4 feet of water went into people's homes. Yeah. 100-year flood. Why aren't people questioning? What happened to Americans' brains? This reminded me of Gaza. Brother and sister rescued. Their parents are still missing. Look how beautiful these children are. Just a different weapon being used. Just a different weapon. Weather used as a weapon. Gaza, bombs dropping. And yeah, you want to talk how much our government loves us.
Nobody's going to put this in their house. I mean, it's just ruined. My name's Graham. This is our Christmas tree farm, what's left of it. This place right here, we have absolutely no flood insurance because, it's never flooded here like this. And we, of course, reached out to FEMA, and, it was like pulling teeth just trying to get a representative out here. And, when they did get out here, it's just like they don't, we'll get back with you. And then we never hear back from them. And then it's, in the experience I've had at my own personal home is when they did get back to me, it was like, I have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damages, and they want to give us like $1,000, $1,400. It's just not,
total, or is that like an initial?
No, that's it.
Have you gotten the initial 750?
Yes, they did send me that. Most people probably do a check for them, and I luckily saved my checkbook and I put it direct deposit. It did come in, but I've not touched it because I've heard it's a loan and it's quick. But then, like I said, I was like, I don't really care about that. Like that's pennies in what I'm dealing with right now.
How much damage do you think you have in your home, or maybe?
I mean, just my own personal home. It's probably 100,000, but that's nothing. My home's nothing compared to what this farm and my parents have lost. I mean, truly.
Your opinion, based on the damage that you've seen, how much damage is to his home?
The bridge alone, starting at 100,000 plus.
Just for the bridge.
My dad said my house can stay empty for years. He said, son, your house can stay empty. But he said, we got to get our farm back up and running. He said, that is the number one priority. Because he said, the farm is what keeps us all going. He said, so we've got to have it back up and running. We got 3 weeks, 2 weeks before we got to start cutting our Christmas trees, if we even can. They're
1,400, yay. Oh, wow, man. Yeah.
Show y'all what's left of Mr. Dave's house. This is it. This is what is left of Mr. Dave's house. This was his home. This was everything. This was his kitchen. This is where he cooked his meals. That's where he slept at night. This is where he spent time with his family. This is real, y'all. This is the reality that we're facing in North Carolina right now. Y'all have got to know what's going on. We're not okay. The people in North Carolina need your help now. Y'all, please come together and help these people. Show y'all what's left.
One of the reasons why I show you this is for you to think, okay, if I have to suffer the consequences of weather weapons, and this is my home, that's what's left of it. If I'm not murdered in the flood, tornado, hurricane, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What if you don't have much money? Everything is gone. Everything. Everything. What are you going to do? It's very real. It's happening a lot. People are suffering the consequences more and more every single day. You need to think about this. Yes. So, of course, we can just watch the war, live, AP, the bombing of Lebanon. Yeah, what fun. Different weapon, same result. I can't go there right now. But I'll go here. Yeah, it's a very different time now, right? So just watching, World War II on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, on just watching it all unfold with any feeling. I don't think a lot of people have feeling about what's going on. Desensitized to all of the violence, all of the killing, all of the murder, even with children. Wow. Wow. Well, I'll just play this.
It's the 8th of October. I just got this amazing clip through from Afshin Ratansi, my friend in Dubai. Watch it. Watch this clip, okay? Where were you during the genocide?
Good afternoon, Seattle. Welcome to your afternoon newscast. We're here to bring you stories that matter most. Today marks the 16th anniversary of the tragic genocide. Commemorations are being held all around the world.
왜 아무것도 안 하셨어요? Was hast du während des Völkermords gemacht, Großvater?
For those who can't read this, all of these kids are asking the adults what was happening right in front of you. What did you do? And where were you? Did you do anything? And yeah. And I'd love to know why Overwatch thinks Lebanon has had it coming for a long time. What has Lebanon done?
Devant vos yeux. Did you just watch it? أساس ماما بينما يقتل أطفال مثلنا. Why?
Yeah, this was good, actually. The genocide committed by Israel is killing humanity, not just Palestinians. Not just Palestinians. All of us. Spiritually dead, emotionally dead. I don't know. Something's wrong, though. Hey, but Trump, he wants to jail Americans for criticism of Jews. Yeah.
Here's the reason why I won't vote for Trump. Trump wants to jail Americans for criticism of Jews. Is Israel first, because he's an Israel first guy. He's not. If Trump was America first, I'd have to think about it. He's not. Watch this.
We will remove the jihadist sympathizers and Jew haters. We're going to remove the Jew haters who do nothing to help our country. They only want to destroy our country. And we will never let the horrors of October 7th be repeated here on American soil. We will not let.
Oh, there's a big chance of that happening, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Big chance of a bunch of Hamas guys and hang gliders and flip-flops attacking the United States. Big chance of that happening. And if you still believe the official story on 9/11, you're pathetic. So what he's saying, so if you criticize, correct me if I'm wrong, is he saying that if you criticize Israel, he's going to call you a Jew hater and he's going to get rid of you? That's what he said, right? Let's listen.
We will remove the jihadist sympathizers and Jew.
Why can't I sympathize with anybody I want? Why? So a political opinion he's making illegal. That's what Trump wants to do.
Can't hear the video?
He wants all this stuff about free speech. He's not for it.
By the way,
He's
no
for
one's
he's for the
they're
speech.
not talking about that.
What?
No, Kamala was he's going to be a dictator in day one.
They're not talking about this. No, they never bring this up.
Because we're bipartisan.
That's
we ain't
right.
going to do shit about this. We're going to keep giving them money because they got blackmail on our leaders.
So if
That's why.
So if you're for freedom of speech, it's not for the speech you like. It's for the speech that people like Donald Trump and Kamala Harris agree they hate. So he's on the same page as Kamala Harris. And all the people in charge of Columbia University and USC, they want to shut down the protesters. Just they all are in on this. So they're all against speech they don't like. And why don't they like it? Because they're all Israel first people. They're not America first. If you were America first, you'd protect the First Amendment rights of the people who live here, even if they're saying something. When I was a kid, the Nazis literally would march every year in Skokie, which is a suburb where a lot of Jews lived in Chicago. And the Jews allowed them to march because the Jews in Skokie loved freedom of speech more than they hated those Nazis. And so you gotta love. What's that?
The Nazis had Jewish ACLU lawyers. It was like an old joke about Jews defending Nazis. You know, that was like an old liberal joke you see and stuff.
But a whole lot of Trump supporters who are awake will just disregard that. And Overwatch, we are so not on the same page at all. Not at all with what is taking place with the Palestinians and Lebanese. And no, not at all. But yeah. Here it's open again. So these are the soldiers coming to get us.
Venezuela.
And I want.
De verdad que el que gane, ojalá y no nos cierre las puertas, pues, que nos brinde el apoyo que necesitamos, porque de verdad estamos pasando por un mal momento, todos, no nada más nosotros, mucha gente. Entonces, bueno, vamos por un mejor futuro para nosotros.
We are going for a better future for our families. Okay. I don't care about Dr. Phil, but just listen. And yeah, it's more important to listen to who is being interviewed.
That DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela, for example, is emptying their prisons and their rehabilitation centers with the understanding you get out if you leave here and go to the United States.
Yes.
And DHS has in writing said, we know that's happening. We know they're coming here. We're processing them in and have no idea where they are.
Correct.
So you're telling me that DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela, for example, is emptying their prisons and their rehabilitation centers with the understanding you get out if you leave here and go to the United States.
Yes.
This isn't the only source that has revealed this information. Why do you think we have so many of the Tren de Aragua gang all over our country? And they're already committing crimes. You think that was the best of the best to send up to America from Venezuela? My God. And here, yeah, chaos erupts outside a kid's playground in Clinton Hills, Brooklyn, after migrants clash with each other And you listen to parents, and they're like, they don't want to bring their children to parks anymore, not just in New York, but other places, because they're afraid of the migrants. Look, there's big fight. Yeah. Okay. It was deliberate to bring about an awful lot of chaos. And I just wish people could understand that. What is this? All right. Oh, Sheriff Grady, Judd, plays the confession of an illegal, explaining how she was greeted by Border Patrol and given everything after crossing the border.
When I passed through immigration, they sat me down and explained to me all the benefits I was eligible for. I was told I could apply for government assistance. I could apply for health medical insurance for my son, and I could apply for food assistance. After I finished talking to immigration, a short time passed until a DNA test was done on me and my son to prove that he was my son. Then they set me down with other people who were also waiting and had already qualified to be released. Then they explained to us that the documents we had in our hands were our personal identification in the United States, and we could use the documents to travel on buses and airplanes. They also explained to us that we could use those documents to apply for our documents to become legal here. And after that, they explained all of the benefits, they said, "Welcome to the United States of North America." And from there, they transported us to a refugee camp. And all of this occurred in one day. So welcome to the United States. This is someone who just crossed the border illegally and to commit crime. And they were not only welcome to the United States, but then they were giving all kinds of benefits at the cost of the taxpayer.
What do you think is going to happen with all of those who live in Roswell, New Mexico? Same thing that's happening in Western North Carolina, in Florida. But hey, cross over the border illegally and get everything that will sustain your life and even more. Well, we need Americans to get a little pissed at this, maybe. And I just want you guys to know, you can be on a different page with me. That's okay. But when you start calling me a bitch, that's when I don't want you. I don't want you. And that's why I banned Overwatch or whatever his name was. I'm going to play a few minutes of this. This is on A Righteous Perspective, which I'm going to post a link because you might want to check out A Righteous Perspective, their channel. Good information, but here.
Some here are frightened now just to go outside. Now it feels like. Some here are frightened now just to go outside.
Now it feels like that whole section
doing that, and that's what
is just not available to the community
asking our local elected
anymore. So our parks are not available to
Can't go there.
anymore.
Search out and give us a list of all of the empty lots that there are.
Migrants from a 4,000-bed shelter nearby fill the sidewalks. They sit on park benches, on stoops and curbs, under the BQE overpass. So many people crowded in here, residents feared what was coming.
We have been witnessing the escalation in violence on the street and in the community for months now.
We've been pleading with the mayor, as we've seen increased violence, that this was going to be inevitable.
And on Sunday night, it came. 2 people were murdered here, a third critically injured just outside one of the 2 adjacent shelters in Clinton Hill. It is a neighborhood now, pleading for help. Residents came together tonight to demand the city provide more protection for them now and move to downsize the two enormous and crowded migrant shelters in Clinton Hill.
There is simply no universe where you can cram 4,000 vulnerable people together safely. Do you believe us now? How many more murders will it take?
This video is responsible for the two Sunday night murders. In the video, he appears to be putting a gun in his waistband. The mayor today didn't offer much hope, saying police are looking at a violent Venezuelan street gang as the people behind the shootings.
They're extremely dangerous. We're dealing with violent individuals that are not representative of the overwhelming number of people who are coming here as migrant and asylum seekers.
No one has yet been arrested for those murders on Sunday night, and that definitely hasn't made anyone here feel any safer. Police say they know who they're looking for, they just haven't found him yet.
So it goes on. I stopped at 2 minutes. The link is in the chat again, but it's a real big problem, right? It's a real big problem. And it's not just a problem in New York. Don't want to leave, forget about states. I don't want to leave any country out. Canada, whoa. UK, whoa. Ireland, whoa. Italy, hey. Spain, yeah. Oh, France, Paris, woof. Deliberate to bring us all down. Well, here we go. Anthony Aguero. Still coming across. Yeah.
How you doing? Where are you coming from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Africa? Where? From where? Haiti, Mauritania, Senegal, where? Senegal? Thank you. Where are you going? Where are you going? New York, California, where? Chicago? Colorado. Thank you. You, sir? Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going, sir? New York? Thank you. You, sir?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Thank you. You?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Son.
Thank you, sir. You? Where are you going? Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Missouri.
Where?
Missouri.
Missouri. Thank you. You, sir?
I'm from Senegal.
And where are you going, sir?
Philadelphia.
Thank you, sir. You, sir?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
New York.
Thank you. You?
Senegal.
Where are you going, sir?
New York.
Thank you, sir.
Senegal. I am going to Colorado.
You're young. You speak good English. How old are you?
I am 13 años.
13 años. ¿Hablas español también? ¿De dónde eres?
Senegal.
Senegal. Muy bien. Te cuidas, te portas bien. Buenas tardes. ¿Dónde vienes?
Ecuador.
¿A qué estado te diriges?
Nueva Jersey.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
Igual.
¿Igual qué?
Igual me dijo.
¿De dónde vienes?
De Ecuador.
¿A dónde vas?
A Nueva Jersey.
Gracias. ¿Y usted, señorita?
Vengo de Ecuador,
¿A dónde va?
a Nueva Jersey,
¿Con quién viene?
con mi esposo, con mis 2 hijos.
Ok, excelente. ¿Usted con quién viene?
Con mis 2 hijos.
¿A dónde va? ¿De dónde viene?
De Guatemala.
It goes on for another 2 minutes and 10 seconds, walking down the whole line. This is really, I mean, everybody is going to be facing this at some point, facing the migrants in their own areas.
So this election is largely going to be determined with the significant shift of
It's not going to stop. Trump is not going to be deporting everybody. Can't stand it. Pure evil taking place at the border.
Hey guys, I'll try to make this short and fit into 60 seconds. My wife wanted me to share this with you guys. A couple of days ago, I was stopped at a fast food place. I'm on the road all the time. And I noticed this search and rescue truck in the parking lot. I went inside. Standing at the counter was a little man, older man, standing there, facing the menu, never faced me for a while. He was wearing fatigues, and I noticed a search and rescue volunteer border patrol on his patch on his sleeve. And I said, man, we really appreciate all your efforts down there. And he just lowered his head, and he turned around to me. He said, I appreciate that. I won't go back because they won't accept our help anymore. He said, it's far worse than you've ever imagined. There's bones hanging from those rape trees, women and children. Hey guys, I'll try.
Do you hear anybody talking about all of the women who are being raped and the children? Well, absolute hell. German teacher describes sexism, bullying, racism in predominantly migrant school. When students insult us or want to offend, they usually do so in a sexualized fecal language, said the teacher, who has been called all of this. Adults in Western countries can't see what's happening. I mean, an awful lot can. But why don't we have all adults unified on this one issue? As our societies are getting literally destroyed, our cultures are getting literally destroyed, and now we're just facing an awful lot of these gangs. Meanwhile, in Chile, speaking of aliens, this is in Chile. Look into the sky. Look at, oh my God, it's a UFO. Will they actually bring that about? Oh my God. That would be pretty friggin' fascinating. People don't know. The military has UFOs. They fly around and freak people out. They want people to believe in an alien invasion.
En verdad yo lo estoy friqueando así a sacar el perrito. Esa wea. No sé qué chucha es esa wea que está en el cielo, weón. Qué mierda, weón. Onda oficial lo estoy friqueando así. ¿Qué es esa wea? Voy a chocar con tu madre. Pero qué mierda. Pero mal no hay nadie en esa madre, weón. Pero, ¿dónde está? Weón, ¿qué es esa wea? Weón, puto. No, yo voy a guardar. No.
Will they do it? Will they actually do it? Just want to show you all of the South American countries that had their governments overthrown by the CIA since 1947. Yes, we are the evil empire. It's hard for people to face, but it's true.
Here's every South American country which has had its government overthrown by the CIA since 1947. Costa Rica in 1948, Guatemala 1954, El Salvador 1979, Nicaragua, 1981. Panama, 1989. Paraguay, 1954. Brazil, 1964. Peru, 1968. Chile, 1973. Uruguay, 1973. Argentina, 1976. And Venezuela in 2002. Here's every...
And I'm sure all of the people coming from these South American countries love us. They love us. And illegal migrants getting FEMA checks? Oh, FEMA.
So FEMA can't tell me why I don't qualify for the FEMA relief. I have applied 3 different times, and each time I sent in proof showing that I was affected. I was affected for a full 13 days because I didn't have power for 13 days and I didn't have water for 12. But they can't tell me why I'm not approved. They're just telling me I'm not approved. However, I do know somebody who's fucking not even a legal resident of the U.S. that got their fucking FEMA relief. And then I know another person who only lost their power for 24 hours and didn't even lose their water, and they got the fucking FEMA relief, but I don't fucking qualify. So if you're wondering how we're fucking doing, I'm not doing good. I'm ready to burn FEMA to the fucking ground. So.
Okay, well, yeah, it's early, but the other stuff I have is just a little bit. We really are the bad guys, and this really is the evil empire. And it's true. But I'll hold this for you tomorrow. I know. The truth hurts. The truth is painful an awful lot of the time. But we've got to deal with it. I hope you're all okay. I really hope that you're all okay. I know that a lot of you aren't. I've heard from some of you that are really not okay. We have to help one another. It's essential. I'm going to do this again tomorrow because I forgot tonight, but I do want to thank Barry S. and Antoinette M. for your PayPal donations. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are so many people hurting, and I can't stand that an awful lot, more than not, really don't get any help. So with our economy the way it is, again, I'm going to say Western North Carolina, those up in the Appalachian Mountains, you see how they work together and get the job done. Use them as a power of example for your communities. We have to help those in need. Help the food pantries. Just buy a couple of, cans extra or a loaf of bread. Just help your local food pantries, because I don't think there's one doing well anymore. Animal shelters. People are just dumping their dogs and cats in shelters. They need a lot of help. And when you look at some subscribers like Maximus, who lives up in the Appalachian Mountains, Western North Carolina, his home getting flooded out. He has throat cancer, and he's fostering a dog. He has a dog himself, and he's fostering another dog. for a family that has no home anymore. So when you look at people who already have such burden and they're still giving, power of example. Yeah. So thank you for showing up, and I do hope to see you tomorrow. And stay safe, live honestly and speak honestly, and develop yourself as a trustworthy human being. Your word is who you are. The word you keep, you're a trustworthy human being. The word you don't keep, you need to work on yourself. All right. Good night. Good luck. Ciao, guys.